If it feels like we've been waiting almost a year for this, it's because we have been. Welcome to the playoffs and welcome to the Mafia Minute. I am Magnum Mills here with Jamie G, and we're getting ready to break down the Bills wild card round matchup against the Denver Broncos. We are pumped for the game, and we are very excited that you are checking out this episode of the Mafia Minute. Thank you very much for doing so. The Mafia Minute is presented by Caesar Gap Fantasy Football. You can find our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Caesar Gap FF and on the web at mafiaminute.com. Nice and easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Very crucial to our success. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please make sure that you've hit the thumb. Jamie G, we always talk about you being a little bit cautiously optimistic or cautiously pessimistic or whatever before the upcoming game. It's the playoffs, man. It's win or go home. How you feeling heading into this one?
I am my standard cautiously optimistic. I'm feeling great about just an awesome season of the Bills, but now it's playoff time and you kind of say, okay, that was great. Are we going to make a run and can we finally get to and win a Super Bowl? And it starts right here at the wild card weekend. Look, Denver's a hot team. They're playing with house money. They've literally have no pressure on them whatsoever, whereas the Bills have all the pressure on them. They're at home. We've got a quarterback that's having an MVP type season. I think he is the MVP no matter what. But all that stuff amounts to it's a must win, right? And it's playoffs. It's win or go home for both teams. But I think there's a lot more pressure on the Bills here. They got to take care of business at home, man, and win this game and get back to the divisional round. And I'm excited, man. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to see how we do. I've seen us play really well at times this year. I've seen other times where it's driven me nuts. But all in all, we won most games we played. Hopefully, this is another one for us, man. Go Bills. I'm fired up.
All right, before we get into the game preview, let's just hit up the Bills on Parade, touch on any of the latest Buffalo Bills news and whatnot. Not a lot here other than really no surprise. Joe Brady is getting a lot of buzz as a head coach candidate. At least four teams that we know of have requested an interview, including the Chicago Bears, Jacksonville Jaguars, New Orleans Saints, and New Jersey. Yeah, New Jersey Jets, the New York Jets. They play in New Jersey. And I think it's not going to be the greatest thing if he leaves, but I don't think the Bills are really going to have trouble finding a new OC if they have to. Over on ESPN, Dan Orlovsky's even throwing his hat in the ring. I think you're going to see a lot of that. A lot of people would love to, I think, come to Western New York, work with Josh Allen. What do you think, Jamie? Do you think Joe Brady's going to get an ascension to the big job?
Sadly, yes, but I hope that he doesn't. I'm hoping that this is an opportunity from him. He takes the Ben Johnson route where he takes, 2, 3 years as a really good offensive coordinator, gets himself really successful. I know that and prepared. I know that he values preparation. And you saw him kind of get rushed into an offensive coordinator position in Carolina, wasn't ready for it and he failed. And then kind of started back at quarterback coach. And then Sean McDermott gave him another opportunity and he's really succeeded. But it's really only been one full season. So my hope is that he won't, and that we'll get another season out of him, and he'll be better prepared and better off because of it. But I know being an LSU guy and everything, that New Orleans jobs, all of them are probably intriguing. But I do believe when he says his focus is on the Bills winning the Super Bowl. Let's hope that that's true, man. But ultimately, I think he probably will. But man, I'm so hoping that he doesn't.
I believe Josh Allen said if any teams want a recommendation, they can call him and he'll tell them how bad Joe Brady was because he
Yeah,
doesn't really want him to go.
they didn't. He did nothing for him.
Yeah, if I had to guess, Chicago or Jacksonville, at least they both theoretically have quarterbacks in place. They have some of the pieces. New Orleans is a multi-year. If you take the New Orleans job now, you're going to get to fix it and then get fired right when you finally get out of salary cap jail. So I don't think he's taking that one. And honestly, after we've heard about the Jets, I can't believe he'd be mentioned in the same sentence as Rex Ryan as a candidate. So I don't think he's going there either. So I think that's pretty good for you, at least. And the deeper you get in the playoffs here, teams like to make an early hire sometimes, get ahead of the market. So the deeper you get, maybe the better chances of keeping them. So we will see if that can play out that way. Let's get into the game preview. Enough beating around the bush here. We're going to get it started with the tail of the tape. This is the wild card round for the 2024 season. It is Sunday, January 12th, 2025. Yes, it is the year 2025. All of a sudden, this is the early game on Sunday. Kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch it on CBS or Paramount Plus. The 10-7 Denver Broncos are traveling to face the 13-4 Buffalo Bills. Currently, the Broncos are 8.5-point road underdogs, plus 340 on the money line, according to the DraftKings Sportsbook, while the Bills are 8.5-point home favorites, minus 440 on the money line. The game total is 46.5 points. And the weather looks pretty nice, especially if you're going to do some tailgating, which I know Bills Mafia is going to do. Not really expecting any precipitation. Temperatures are going to be in the low 30s, winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So this time of year, that's about all you can ask for in Western New York, unless, of course, you were looking for the big snowstorm, which can be good for the Bills, but not as good for tailgating. And as far as the injury report, the news is just about as good over there. Unfortunately, it's also good for the Broncos. Right now, they have cornerback Damari Mathis listed as questionable. He is the only player right now who is listed as questionable. And if you look at the Bills side of the ball, they are pretty much full go. Brandon Codrington and I believe Jamarcus Ingram were both estimated as not practicing at the Wednesday walkthrough, but are probably expected to play. So it looks like we're going to be about as healthy as we've been all season. What else can you say, Jamie G, other than like we like this and keep it up, right? That's about it. This is what we were hoping for. This was the goal. We got here with a pretty clean injury list. I don't know what else you can do.
Yeah, I mean, we had ups and downs. We dealt with a lot of injuries this season, but heading into this playoff game, we don't have any major starters that are out, and it looks like we're about as healthy as we can be, which is a good thing, man. We're at home, we're healthy. Now it's just a matter of going out there and executing, and I think just doing what the Bills do. They've been really successful all year. It's a tough matchup, but at least we don't have the lingering, oh man, we're down both of our linebackers, or we're missing half of our secondary, or whatever the case may be. We got the full, the cupboard's full with all our talent, and now it's time for them to go out and play playoff football.
Yeah, you can't really ask for anything more, especially after how that injury report had looked the past couple of years. I'm glad whatever they did to strengthen the wrist in the past couple of months has worked. I remember when everyone was just having the wrist injuries, so maybe they got the Nolan Ryan wrist rocket or whatever. Whatever they did, it's been working, and that's what you need to do. You need to find what works. You need to do it over and over again. That's like the keys to victory. Jamie G's got some keys for us. You know my keys. These are the keys to victory for the Buffalo Bills in this wild card matchup against the Bronco. Jamie G, tell us what the Bills need to do to secure the victory.
Yeah, I got a couple of keys here. Jimmy G's keys. Key number one, stay emotionally balanced. Look, man, it's a playoff game. It's at home. Place is going to be nuts. The goal is to win more than just this game, right? We're not. This isn't our Super Bowl. We cannot look past it. We cannot be thinking about the divisional round. You've got to win this one game. That's all that matters right now. And you need to balance the fact that we are a very confident team, but the fact that the Broncos are a very dangerous team. Like I said, they're playing with house money. They've got explosives on offense. They're a very good defense. Yeah, they have a rookie quarterback. I think they're really well coached all three phases of the game. Sean Payton, he's a Super Bowl winning coach for a reason. And, Denver only lost 2 games to non-playoff teams this season. Hopefully, that helps us. Week 1, they lost to Seattle 26-20, and in Week 17, they lost to Cincinnati in overtime. I think, look, they're a playoff team. They've earned it. They're a good football team. We got to stay emotionally balanced and do what we do. Key number 2, be ready to get punched early. Denver gained the first lead in each of their 3 losses without allowing their opponent to score on the opening drive. Sean Payton, he's always has some tricks up his sleeve. He won't hesitate to go into his bag of tricks early in this game. I really believe that. And in an ideal world, we'll get an early lead and never look back. But if it doesn't work out that way, there's no need to panic. I'm saying this mostly to myself as a nervous member of Bills Mafia that will be pacing around the house, doing all the crazy things that I do during games. No need to panic. 60 minutes of football. We can come back and win this game. Key number 3. Put the offensive pedal to the metal and dare the Broncos to keep up. In Week 13, the Broncos beat the Browns 41-32 in a wild Monday Night Football matchup. That's the only game they won this season where their opponent scored more than 19 points. 3 of their last 4 losses came when the opponent scored 30-plus points. We scored 30-plus points in 8 straight games. We know that that's a recipe for success for us. We got to be able to have an offensive production here against a good defense. Key number 4, make Bo Nix prove he can perform when it counts. Denver has a record of 1-6 in games decided by 1 score this season. The 41-10 loss in Baltimore was the only game that they've lost by more than one score, eight total points this season. He also hasn't been good on the road. The home At home, he averaged 251 passing yards and 2.38 passing touchdowns per game. On the road, though, he's averaging just 197 passing yards and 1.1 passing touchdowns per game. His split looks similar when the Broncos are underdogs. When the Broncos are favored, he averaged 247 passing yards, 2.38 passing touchdowns, and 0.62 interceptions. When they were underdogs, though, he averaged 200 passing yards, 1.1 passing touchdowns, and 0.78 interceptions.
Yeah, it just at the end of the day, they're a good team. You're going to have to take care of business, and ideally, you'd like to dominate on in all three phases. But I think if you can get the offense going, that's the key. Put it all on Bo Nix. The Broncos have really struggled to run the ball. If you can get the positive game situation, that'll allow you to keep running the ball, even though the Broncos have a pretty steady run defense. You keep doing the thing, you keep hammering it, keep hammering it, keep hammering it, wait to break to the long one. So I think that is a good recipe for success. And I hate to make you get too specific, but I need you to be coming in hot here with your predictions as always. And we do our predictions Buffalo style, just like our wings, at various levels of heat. So we'll have a mild prediction, a medium prediction, and a hot one. Jamie G, lay it on us. Give us your predictions coming in hot for the wild card round.
Yeah, man, mild. It's gonna have some flavor and a little bit of heat. We're gonna go with the Bills will record two or more sacks in this game. And look, if you're like me and you think the Bills are going to win, and believe me, I certainly do, they need to get home with their pressure. We've seen it at times this season. It's been dynamic. Need to get it today and in this game. Bo Nix has been sacked at least twice in each of the Broncos' losses this season. That's a recipe for success for us. Our medium, typical Buffalo style medium, it's basically a hot everywhere else in the world. It's medium for us, and it's got that heat, baby. The Bills will rush for 115 plus yards as a team. The Broncos have only won a single game when their opponent has rushed for 100 plus yards since week 5. That was against the Colts, who had 149 rushing yards. If you don't remember, that's a game where Jonathan Taylor dropped the ball before scoring, and the momentum drastically shifted. In other words, if we can run the ball, we can win this game. The Bills have rushed for at least 130 yards in 3 of the last 4 games. The only time we didn't was against the Jets, where we could throw the ball at will, and we decided to do just that. Coming in hot here, Mills, with an extra level of spice, my guy, Josh Allen, he will account for 3 plus total touchdowns from weeks 13 to 17. Josh Allen accounted for 3 plus total touchdowns in 4 out of 5 games. He didn't get there in that first New England game. In fact, he has 4 plus total touchdowns in 3 of his last 5 games. The only game the Bills have lost this season where Josh has 3 plus total touchdowns was the Rams game. And if the Broncos drop 44 points on us, then you know what? We're in a spot where maybe we shouldn't win. So feeling pretty good about if we hit these keys, we hit these hots. I think we got this one, Mills.
Yeah, if you get all those, you are definitely going to win. I think if you can even get a majority of them, you will be in good shape here. Again, you want to make the rookie play like a rookie a little bit. You know the coach is good, but he can't be out there on the field. Although if Sean Payton wants to go take a couple snaps, I would be there to watch it. Unfortunately, that is not part of my dream scenario here. Jamie G, I need you to get out your dream board, manifest some Mafia magic, and tell us how this game could go in an ideal world for you. I know probably you just hit fast forward. The game's over. The Bills wins. Everyone's healthy. Let's go to next week. That does sound pretty ideal, but be a little more detailed than that. What's your dream scenario for this one?
Absolutely. First of all, we get an absolute perfect day for football, and the fans are out there rocking from Thursday on. I want them riled up, ready to go. It's Bills Mafia playoff time, baby. So packed house, 99% Bills fans is step number 1. Number 2, we get off to a fast start, both offensively and defensively. I'd really like to see our defense in this crowd take over this game, get in the rookie's head. Sean McDermott's had some success against rookie quarterbacks. We need that trend to continue, but we get off to a fast start on defense, getting after the quarterback, forcing 3 and outs, shutting down the running game. And on offense, it's one of those games where it's like, holy shit, can you believe that? Like, oh my God, they're just making plays. And we get up in an early lead, man. And when the Bills are playing above from ahead with a lead, they are as dangerous as a team as anyone in this league because it forces teams to get one-dimensional. The Bills are really good when teams get one-dimensional on defense, and offensively, we can continue to put pressure on you by scoring points. So I just want to see a clean game. Don't beat ourselves. Get up early, have the place rocking, have it be magic, filled with Bills Mafia energy, and ultimately a Bills win at home. Let's go, baby. Go Bills.
Yeah, don't be afraid to manifest the magic in the stadium. And, you can even bring the tailgating magic right into the stadium. Maybe that'll help everybody get going, get one of those fast starts. Anything else in particular about the matchup we haven't touched on that you'd like to mention?
I sound like a broken record, Mills, but it is so true. This week, I'm really going to keep a keen eye on our offensive line and our ability to protect Josh Allen. He's been pretty good at not getting sacked this season. I think he only has 8 sacks or something like that. It's a low number considering how many pass attempts he has, and it's in part due to his ability to scramble and create, but it's also in part to just how good the Bills' offensive line has played. They got to play their best game. They're going against a really good defense that's outstanding at generating sacks. And so I'm going to keep a keen eye on the Bills' offensive line versus the pass rushers and versus that defensive front of Denver.
I think if you can limit them to 1 sack or less, I think the Bills are in very good shape. You get away with that singular sack maybe, but I think if you keep your guy 17 upright, you will be in very good shape. And we're trying to improve our financial shape with our Bills bets. As if it's not stressful enough to watch a Bills game, why not put some money on the outcome? On the season, we are barely in the green here. We're up about 11 Bills bucks on the season, but hey, after 17 weeks of wagering, it could be worse. Jamie G, you were leading the way. You're up about 174 bucks. We're still in the positives on our tripods, our 3-leg single game parlays, up about $1.25 there. I am down about 289 Bills bucks, coming so close, but I'm dragging us down here, and I'm going to try to get us back in the good this week. I'm going to go with the guy, Josh Allen. I'm going to take the over on the combo yards. Give me Josh Allen over 276.5 passing plus rushing yards. So that's passing and rushing yards combined. That is minus 110 on its own. So a wager of 100 Bills bucks will bring you back about 191. Jamie G, what are you doing this week? Are you going with Josh Allen or James Cook? I know you hit on the Dawson Knox anytime touchdown before, but throughout the season, you've leaned on your guys there. Are you going to lean on him here once again in the playoffs?
It's playoff football. I'm looking for playoff Josh. He's the best player on our team. I think he's the best player in the league. I've got to go all in on Josh Allen here. I'm taking Josh over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's minus 105. 100 cricket coins there to win back 195. Let's go.
He likes going to the well.
Go with the best player, man. What else can you do here?
Now it is time to get into our tripod for the wild card round. This is a 3-leg single game parlay based on the odds we are getting over on DraftKings. So we got to hit all 3 of these to take it home. We got legs. We know how to use them. Jamie G, leg number 1, we're going with the guy, Josh Allen, anytime touchdown scorer. That is minus 120. That has to be on the ground rushing it, or he can catch a touchdown. We've seen that happen this year. That's okay too, but passing touchdowns don't count for this one. And you know what? We want to get his passing touchdowns involved anyways. So we're going to go ahead, throw Jamie G's wager in here. Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns, minus 105 for that leg. And finally, we're going to go ahead and throw in James Cook, maybe doing a little bit of work out of the backfield here, trying to get mashed up against those linebackers. We're going to take Cook over 1.5 receptions. That is minus 155 on its own. If you take these 3 legs, put them together, Josh Allen anytime touchdown, Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns, and James Cook over 1.5 receptions, you get some nice tidy odds of plus 500. So a wager of 100 Bills bucks will bring you back $600 or Bills bucks or whatever currency you like that is cold and hard. That brings us over to DraftKings, where we like to make a couple picks for the Bills Showdown contest. We call these our DraftJoshes because around here, Josh Allen is the only one true king. So obviously, once again, you're going to want to go back to the well, play Josh Allen at your captain spot over on the Showdowns over in the Showdown contest on DraftKings. And Jamie G, this is a price tag. Josh Allen, $18,600 in your captain spot. It is worth it. Unless you're going to go against the Bills, I think the only other guy you can even consider here at captain is James Cook. Cook. He's already up at 14,400. So yes, that Josh Allen is quite a bit more expensive, but considering the ceiling we have seen this game, I think he is your guy. But if you're entering one of the bigger large field tournaments, James Cook not going to pick up a lot of ownership and captain, so you could think about plugging him in there. And if you're looking for a value play, I like digging down deep this week. We don't have any min plays, but I do like Ty Johnson, 3,600 here a little bit. We saw him get used in that Detroit game heavily when they wanted to get him matched up on the linebackers and safeties in the receiving game. I think they could be looking to do the same thing here. You love that in the PPR format over there on DraftKings. He's found the end zone a few times this season, so he's a nice play at 3,600. And if you really want to dig down for a cheap low-owned guy, why not take a chance on Curtis Samuel? He's only 2,600 bucks, probably only going to get a handful of targets at best, 2 to 3, maybe 4, but they're going to try to get him on a couple of splash plays. They need to find something like that. He is a very good threat with the ball in his hands. We're going to pick up basically no ownership at 2,600, so you can't complain too much. On the other side of the ball, you have to play somebody from the Broncos. I think you have to like Bo Nix, what he's done here. He's 10,400 in your flex, but he's shown the ability to add some production with his legs, at least 2 passing touchdowns in each of his last 3 games. I think maybe even 3 plus in 2 of those. If this game turns into a shootout, you're probably going to want him and Josh Allen in your lineup. If you want to pair him with Nix or go a little bit cheaper, I'm a big fan of Marvin Mims Jr., the receiver is 7K flat in your flex. He's showed a lot of big playability recently. We've seen it before with him returning kicks and punts. Now he's become more involved in the offense. He's had at least 2 games with 100 plus yards in his last 4, scored multiple touchdowns in a couple of those. So definitely a dangerous guy. And one of those dudes who was probably $2,000, about a month ago. Now he's all the way up at 7K. So take notice. And if you're stacking it up, I think you're obviously going to want to run Josh Allen in your captain for the most part. If you can pair him up with Bo Nix, throw Marvin Mims in there with Nix, and then get a couple of those build wide receivers in there, I think you're cooking. That's the other good part about Everybody Eats. It's hard to predict, but it's driven down the prices on all these Bills weapons. You can get Amari Cooper, Keon Coleman, Dalton and Caden. They won't cost you a ton. Even Shakir isn't priced up. Really, outside of Allen and Cook, all the Bills are quite affordable. So go ahead, play around with it. Lock in those lineups now. You have all the way until kickoff to mess with them, but make sure you reserve your spots now because generally they don't run the biggest ones for these, although this is a playoff game, so there will be some nice prize pools. Make sure you check it out over on DraftKings. Jamie G, that means there's only one final order of business here, and that's for you to give your final score prediction. Once again, I am pretty sure I know who the winner will be, but tell us by how much.
I am going to take the Bills to win this one, man, in a little bit of a sweater, but they pull away at the end here. It's not as comfortable as I would like, but they get the job done. Give me the Bills, Denver. I got Denver 22, Bills 31. Go Bills.
Ooh, and a nice little cover there. All right, we will take that. That's a good one. I think we'd be very happy if that happened. And again, if you score that many points, the only person who's managed to to lose to the Broncos while scoring that many points is Jameis Williams, and we know he is one of a kind. No one else can do what Jameis does. He is literally he is one of one. He is a collectible. Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Mafia Minute. Win or lose, we will be back to review the game, but it's going to be win because we have nothing but positive thoughts here on the Mafia Minute presented by Season Gap Fantasy Football. You can find all of our content wherever you get your pods and on YouTube. We're on social media at Season Gap FF and on the web at MafiaMinute.com. Thanks for remembering that, and thanks for remembering the flaps. Follow, like, and please subscribe if you had fun. Please make sure you hit the thumb. Jamie G, all season we've been putting it on you when we get out of here to get the Bills fans hyped up, but now the preseason is over. This isn't the regular season. This is the real season. This is the real bullets are flying out. It's happening. Get everybody fired up for this one.
Bills Mafia, this is what we wait for all year long. All summer while we're training, drinking beers, getting ourselves ready to go, grilling, yelling, getting our lungs healthy, getting in shape to be the best fan they can be. This is why we do it. This is why we shotgun beers. This is why we dive through tables. This is everything right here. Game on the line. We got to go out there and we got to bring it, man. Let's do our part to make sure we win this game. Playoff football in Western New York. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Let's get the dub, baby. Go Bills. We'll see you on the flip.